Hello, friends. The topic for today is deep breathing. And not only deep breathing, but deep breathing with the diaphragm. And not only deep breathing with the diaphragm, but deep breathing with the diaphragm and belly breathing. Because it's possible to breathe with the diaphragm into the back of the body. So now we're going to really look at the benefits of deep breathing because they're so profound and so varied, and I think it's so important for you to know, understand how profound and how many benefits simply breathing has on your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. So first, let's understand the diaphragm. The diaphragm is a muscle. It is the primary muscle in breathing. That means if you use it and keep it toned and strong, it will serve you. And if you don't, it will weaken. Important in keeping it toned and strong is to practice regularly, to use this muscle regularly. The diaphragm sits below the heart, and as we breathe in, it moves down. When it moves down, it presses a little bit on the abdominal and digestive organs, and the belly relaxes and moves outward. And on the exhalation, the diaphragm lifts upward towards the heart. So when we breathe with the diaphragm, one of the physical benefits of it is that it gives the abdominal and digestive organs a massage. That is the intestine, the large intestine, the stomach, the liver, the spleen, the pancreas, the kidneys. These are all some of the organs that are contained in the abdominal wall. And when we breathe with the diaphragm, it acts like a massage for the organs. And it's so important because sometimes through exercise, we exercise major muscles. But how can we exercise and keep toned our internal organs? Deep breathing is the key. Not only does it massage the abdominal organs, there are doctors, cardiologists who now recommend deep breathing for cardiac patients. And that is because breathing with the diaphragm also acts like a massage for the heart. It's because the diaphragm and the heart are connected through fascial tissue. So when the diaphragm moves downward, it creates this massage-like movement for the heart. And the heart is also a muscle. That's one of the physical benefits of breathing with the diaphragm. There are so many. One of the other benefits of breathing with the diaphragm is the impact on the nervous system. We have two different branches of the nervous system, the sympathetic and parasympathetic. One is rest and digest mode, relaxation response. The other is flight, freeze, or fight mode. It is so important in the course of every single day that we learn how to elicit the relaxation response. And the relaxation response is a very distinct physiological state, distinct from sleep. And when we breathe with the diaphragm, it has an impact on the nervous system in triggering the relaxation response. And that has an impact on the muscle tissue, that the muscles feel softer and more at ease. Maybe we feel there's more space in our joints. And mentally and emotionally, we feel calm, at ease, and relaxed. The other benefit of deep breathing, not only physical, but now we're moving into the mental benefit because deep breathing has a huge, profound, positive impact on the brain. There are two hemispheres of the brain, the right and left hemisphere of the brain. The brain has different parts of the brain that are important for different functions: language function, analytical function, visionary function, imagination, being able to see something in a whole way as opposed to dissecting and being able to see a single thing. When we breathe deeply, it has the ability to allow for optimal brain functioning, that the whole of the brain can work in an integrated way. And the most profound impact that deep breathing has on the brain is in this capacity of awareness or consciousness, that we can become aware of what we do in the moment we do it. Why is that important? Probably for most of us, we have inherited beliefs and habits from our culture, from our ancestors, from our parents, from our past. When we breathe deeply and we elicit this awareness or conscious response, it becomes much easier to shed light on these habitual patterns, whether they're habitual beliefs or thoughts, whether they're habitual ways of reacting rather than responding, or habitual ways of speaking and acting. Instead of acting from habitual and conditioned ways, deep breathing can help bring more intention and choice into our lives. Now, the third major benefit of deep breathing, we've covered physical, mental. Third major benefit is the impact on the emotional level. When strong emotions arise, some of them actually have the capacity to shut off certain parts of our brain. And this is a protective mechanism. For example, if we're in a situation of danger and we feel strong fear, to shut off parts of the brain so that more energy is directed into our legs and we can run. Or if we're angry and anger overtakes us, our pupils narrow, our vision narrows, and parts of our brain shut off so we can act and we're motivated. We have the physical resources to act. But sometimes in our lives, strong emotions come up where we're not in danger and parts of our brain get shut off. And deep breathing can help to shift the brain state so that we can go from being angry and triggered or frustrated and overwhelmed to a place of being calm and centered. And that's not to say when we practice deep breathing that we don't experience emotions. I certainly don't find that the case to be for me. I experience emotions, sometimes strong, negative, unpleasant emotions. But deep breathing has given me the capacity to self-regulate, to bring myself down, to calm myself. And when I do that, I can access more of my intelligence and my creativity in my response. The other term I'd like to introduce, in addition to self-regulation, where we use the breath to regulate our emotions, is co-regulation. This is when maybe we're with someone else who is triggered by a very strong emotion, and through our deep breathing, we may help them to calm down. Co-regulation. Sometimes we do it for ourselves. Sometimes we find it helpful to do it for someone else. These are some of the profound benefits of deep breathing. But it's not enough. It's not enough to know about them. The benefits only become alive when we practice deep breathing. So now I invite you to practice with me. And before we practice, a few words. Anything you practice, if you practice regularly, you will have more benefits than if you practice irregularly. With deep breathing, you will probably feel an immediate impact, a feeling of well-being, a feeling of more calm and ease. If you practice regularly and over an extended period of time, you might find that it helps to rewire you. This ability of deep breathing connected to consciousness, if we practice it regularly and over a period of time, it can actually change and reshape and transform who we are and how we are. All for the positive. Second thing about a practice, not only is it important to practice regularly and over time, but it's important to designate a regular time to practice. So it might be in the morning, it might be in the evening, it might be before bedtime, it might be at lunchtime. When you set a regular time, it becomes a habit. And then it becomes so much easier to find this rhythm and really commit to it. So important is for you to think, how can you fit 10 minutes of deep breathing into your everyday? Will it work in the morning when no one's up and you have a cup of tea or warm drink and then you sit for 10 minutes? Or will it work better for you if in the middle of your workday you step outside of the office and the workplace, you go for a walk, and at some point you sit down, put on a timer for 10 minutes, and take 10 minutes to breathe? Or maybe some of you might have had periods of insomnia, or you might find that it's difficult for you to relax in the evening, and you might find that it's helpful at the end of your day to practice 10 minutes of deep breathing. The other thing about practice, I want to say a few things about your posture, because it's so important that we sit upright, that the diaphragm has room to move, that the lungs have room to expand, that the spinal column is nice and tall, that the nerves can communicate directly with the brain. And there's a certain amount of tone and engagement of the muscles that keep you upright, and a certain amount of ease and relaxation. And the more you practice, the more subtle and nuanced you'll get in understanding that for your body. So now let's practice. We'll do 10 minutes. I'll guide you in a simple practice of deep breathing so that you can come back to this practice and practice again. When I practice deep breathing, I set a timer so that I don't have to think about it and I can really focus on my breath. Find a position that's comfortable, sitting in a chair or sitting down on a cushion, or if you prefer, lying down on your back. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and out. And stay attentive to your breathing. As you feel the inhalation and exhalation of your breath, bring awareness to the base of the body. That you can feel your feet and legs, hips, pelvis, and the sit bones. Keep the awareness of the inhale and exhale of breath. And now bring awareness to the spinal column. That you feel an uprightness through your body. And there's a balance between tone and ease. Bring awareness to the face, relaxing the eyes and forehead. Relaxing the mouth and jaw. Come back to the breath. See if you can feel the movement of the diaphragm downwards as you breathe in, upwards as you breathe out. Allowing the abdominal wall to relax, that there's an expansion of the belly on the inhale, and you can slightly draw the belly in on the exhale. And now allow for the breathing to be effortless. So the diaphragm is moving downward and upward, but you're exerting the least amount of effort to breathe. Now we'll slow down the breath by allowing for the pauses between the breath. There's a pause at the top of the inhale and a pause at the end of the exhale. And now let go of any efforting or concentration And just be still, aware of your breath, aware of the body. If the mind is entertaining thoughts, bring it back to the breath. Aware of the inhalation and exhalation in this rhythm. Body breathing in, body breathing out. Downward, upward. Inhale and exhale. So now bring both of your hands to your heart and gently open the eyes. And we will dedicate our efforts for our well-being, physical, mental, emotional, knowing that when we are well, we can also help others, serve others, love others. So thank you for listening and practicing. I hope that you will continue to practice. One thing that I would like to mention so that you know that it's not easy, because the ego mind always wants to be somewhere other than now. It wants to be in the future, maybe thinking about what you're going to eat next, or it wants to be in the past, replaying a conversation you had a few minutes ago. And part of deep breathing is training the mind to be present. And that helps to develop your presence, your ability to be present in any given moment. The benefits of deep breathing are so profound and transformative. I really hope this will inspire you to practice more. From my heart to yours.